he's been basically the guru for American management. One thing which has been pretty much forgotten in recent years is the fact that he is also the originator of what to many of us many years ago was called management by objectives, which was a very simple format, which unfortunately was eventually taken over by human resource departments and became a disaster.
And it got to the point where some of the teams that sat next to him, their supervisors, came over and would stare at these people and ask them why they were so happy.
And what he did was to provide principles. And of course, every one of us know that any management situation we're in, we can't use the same procedures that we might have used the last time.
Many of you may not realize, but there was a huge layoff at the time of the invention of the printing press. There were, if I recall correctly, upward 100,000 monks employed in writing books by hand at the time. And 95% of those lost their jobs by the end of this century when the printing press was invented.
MCC was never designed from the outset, correct me if I'm wrong, to be last any longer than 7 to 10 years. It actually lasted far longer than it was supposed to. It did provide a focus globally through Bill Norris's vision of control data to do things collaboratively in artificial intelligence, parallel processing, areas that have not been explored heretofore in those ways. For us locally, it created the buzz that's been described. It put us on the front page of the Los Angeles Times, the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Boston Globe, the Wall Street Journal.
But what I don't think we can forget is beyond what has already been said, is it brought 350 world-class researchers from the member companies to this location, and I suspect of those 350, 320 at minimum are still here.
The University of Texas, I think 4 or 5 years back, established something called the Research Fellow, so that people from industry could come into the university environment for 3 years, and then perhaps after that time pursue a tenure-track position. So this exchange of scientists and researchers from business and industry is really great for commercialization overall.
We believe successful innovation has these 4 key criteria. It requires cross-functional folks to work together. You need to be able to show that idea to a number of people and have it well structured. The second thing you need is management support. We work with a lot of firms who have been told that they should become more innovative, and yet there's no definition of that and there's no management support for that. In fact, there's often, we'll say, folks will talk the talk but not walk the walk in a sense. The management teams will say, you need to be innovative, but don't spend any time on it. I think it's very important that the management team understand what's required to innovate and the investment that's required. The next thing you need is a process, and we really will advocate for this process concept because nothing happens by accident in most businesses. And if you look across your business, in just about every area of your business, anything that you do well has a process defined. So if innovation is going to be so important to your business, if it's going to drive new growth, why would you leave it to chance? Finally, the other thing you need in an organization, and this always gets this is a little hard to swallow, is you need the ability to accept risk and, more importantly, to accept failure. A lot of innovation is a lot like venture capital investing. Probably going to get one good hit out of every 10 to 15 ideas. If you expect success on every idea, you'll always be incrementally innovating. You'll always innovate at the margin. You're never going to swing for those fences.